It's a little bit of a strange one, but this is a Liquid team that, by and large, has really stepped up and come out of the gates as one of the sort of top teams in this region, if not the top team in this region. Well, to take down Tundra just the other day is they'll run on in and back away from each other. But they did have a little bit of a message for the fans as they were getting ready for the start of this season that we can listen to now.
Thank you to all you guys who support Team Liquid. We are going to try to throw less this season and hopefully be more consistent. And let's hope you guys won't need as many heart rate checks throughout this year as you did last year.
And yeah, just a little recognition of the state of things as all of the sprays laid down there in the bottom in the mid lane.
Yeah, these two teams have tons of respect and tons of, like, friendship kind of in a way, even though it's a battle between two teams always. Storm, a really lively personality, and Sania as well. So they're definitely going to have a little bit of fun in this one.
As Toby, gets hit by that first hit bash. Boxy procking those ones and getting ready as Katomi just needs to run away, and it looks like they're going to be fine. Just securing a couple of runes here. Zai, a little bit of a click off against Fishman, who's quicker. Zai got there.
They got 3. Not 4. They've consistently gotten 3 when we've casted them. As we heard the other day, they don't like to get 4. Makes them feel too comfortable, so the 3 is the ideal. All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how the lane matchups are going to go. I think that's the biggest thing, I guess, for Entity that I am looking at is how well Storm is able to do, because this is his very signature hero, his OD, versus Nisha on his Zeus. But yeah, looking at a lot of counters I feel like that Liquid does have in order to deal with this OD, to deal with the Slug, to deal with most of the cores, right? The Drow Gust feels really potent this game. Insania's got his little Shredder to deal with Tombstone, which is, for me, when I look at Entity's draft, the Tombstone is their only actual team fight until way later on for the Darkseer to get online. So,
right, more often than not, you're seeing those Darkseers max out that surge early to, make sure they don't get brought down or what have you. Yeah, it's a very strange looking draft from Entity, and like Sheep was kind of talking about on the panel, it feels like it's going to be dependent a lot upon this Slark just to have a great game on Watson and be involved with his team early. But we'll keep an eye on these lanes and how they're working. Mid, obviously, very even. Both cores farming. You can see off-laners struggling a little bit more there. Zai being pushed back by Watson.
Yeah, mid lane's probably the more boring lane to look at in this one. I mean, it's an OD versus Zeus, so Zeus should be able to get just fine amounts of farm here. And Storm should be able to also just kind of free farm until we see rotations. So that's the one thing that could change things up, because we do have Boxy. We have this Spirit Breaker Zai.
Hides down in the broken spot. That never feels fair to me.
The waterfall?
Yeah, like what the heck? How do you just get to run down there as a spider? Regardless, Zai playing around it just about perfect, and now the wave in a pretty good position for him. But yeah, those rotations going to be something to watch for, and Boxy very comfortable on his Spirit Breaker.
He's just been so damn dominant lately. As bottom, they get the vacuum. Mickey in trouble.
But a bash, dude! Yo, check this guy's computer. What the hell's going on? That's crazy.
First hit pushes him away. Regen is lacking in the bottom lane. They actually have no tangos remaining on the side of Liquid. So Toby and Katomi could perhaps take advantage of this with some dive plays.
And you can see already the power that you get with this Riki, not often thought of as one of the big heroes that you pair together with Darkseer, but naturally has ways to stay on target, survive where he otherwise might not be able to. And Fishman, the Soul Rip, he's going to get away from him. Playing it very close.
Yeah, this is a lane that they can't afford to die in early. It's about dominating those first 3 waves with the Undying plus Slark pick. That's why they opened it up versus this Brood pick. And right now, it is looking good. Just have to be careful. As those levels do kick out for Insania and for Zai, it's going to start getting a little bit more difficult for Fishman.
And Dying definitely, subject to getting bullied back himself if he is a little bit too low on that HP and mana. And right now, sitting with 3 mangoes ready to go, he's just trying to get a pull.
Yeah, he's got a Salve and a Clarity coming on Courier, so we'll be able to play aggressive again afterwards.
Much needed for him.
That's Watson going to on Zai. Zai!
Yeah, down low. Does he manage to get out of there? No, first blood for Watson. And, well, pops the stick charges, walks away. Fishman's back. All good up top for Entity.
Got to heal up Watson too, so it doesn't need all that regen. They've got all the mangoes to keep throwing soul rips on him, and now he's got boots as well. I like that he went for the early boots here so he can keep going for the pressure onto the Broodmother. And yeah, the lane, this pick, the first 2 is working out beautifully for them.
Right. We did see, again, mid starting to take a little bit of an advantage. Stormstormer now on this hero he's very comfortable with the wave pushing in is already at 20-4, and Nisha has to run on down to refill the bottle.
No one actually taking that one away. Will Stormstormer make a rotation toward bottom rune to take it away? I think he should try to deny this rune away from Nisha.
Charge through onto Katomi.
And he gets the rune.
Yeah,
so.
Stormstormer steals.
Good move. He read the, he saw Nisha moving down bottom. He's also going to be able to take the top rune as well, so denying that secondary fill-up onto Nisha. So all thing off, first 4 minutes, looking excellent here for Entity. As I think that's what they drafted for, at least these 2 lanes in particular.
Right, and you feel like this is something that really has to be getting going for Entity at this point.
Yeah, at least, like I said, maybe I'm feeling something completely wrong because their lineup just no stuns just looks a little weird. But yeah, I think the lanes are massive for them to at least come out an advantage. Otherwise, game could get weird pretty quick. Because in Liquid, they've got more team fight, more ways to catch, more ways to distance people from this distance people from the Drow.
All right, Boxy gets a little bit of pressure onto him. Toby needs to be careful there too. Drow's sort of a weird one. Maybe make an all-in play when Darkseer gets 6 with the wall, but it's always scary fighting into this lane with that Gust ready.
Yeah, I wonder if he actually maybe skills it at level 4 on Mickey. I think I would like that. All right, level 5, sorry. Just to get that extra point is Boxy.
Tomi gets the charge through. The slowdown, almost enough for the kill, but Boxy gets away. Very nicely played by him there.
He might have to suicide, actually.
Yeah, looks...
He's getting his boots first. Yeah, he was waiting for the gold.
Okay.
So, suicide play is going to be able to come back down and bring Mickey's items. Stormstormer really pulling ahead.
Yeah, I think that bottle deny, like you were talking about, really threw him for a bit of a loop there on Nisha, and nobody's died yet. I wonder if they do decide to refill the bottle on the Spirit Breaker now that he's gone down. Oh, God. Each time that happens, it just feels so frustrating playing against the OD.
I mean, look at his mana. He's just spamming because his max mana just continues to get reduced down as Stormstormer. Maybe with the rotation, he could now set up for a kill. Let's see. 6-minute power rune. Charge is coming out from base.
Ooh, does a little step back, but no, Nisha, he's going to get given blessed with an arcane rune.
And he's level 6 now, so eyes on these side lanes for that Zeus ult. Is Nisha? Bit of a pause?
Yeah. So that did mean that Katomi coming mid, DS alone down bottom. He's getting close to 5, while I think up top it's Zai basically, still being zoned out pretty heavily by Watson, and is a full level behind him at this point.
Yeah, he started to catch back. He almost has his arcane boots, so we'll be able to catch up, and then they can spam. Him and Insania can start to slow down the Slark at least a little bit, but Watson's going to be 6 by the time they're able to do that, so he's going to be able to just dip into the jungle quickly, always heal up from that Shadow Dance. So far, looking pretty good for Entity. Quiet start, as we see. And Mickey, he did get the point in Gust, as we were hoping that he would get at 5. So we'll have an extra form to protect himself.
Yeah, double Wraithband already has the gloves too. So a lot of spam potential to take out those Ion Shell creeps pretty quickly. And yeah, I guess the big thing to me that I want to see is like what Entity want to do with this sort of good early start that we've seen, because it doesn't really feel like their heroes move around and do that much. I guess Ricky with Ion Shell is like the main thing they can try and mess around with.
He's going to have to be the big one that does do those rotations. And yeah, with gap closing, right, if he has Ion Shell, he's able to jump on the Zeus. Perhaps they can actually set up onto Nisha, because Stormstormer having this great start, his damage is going to be pretty good. He just has to get a couple Astrals first, so his ult isn't insignificant versus the Zeus.
Right. Yeah, that's the part that's always a little bit weird about it. But Nisha rejoining the game now. Should be back underway in just a couple of moments here.
Go when ready, says Fishman. Nobody else saying anything. There we go.
Nice. So they're underway. And with the movement back up towards the north, Fishman will try and go back to bullying this Brood if possible. But very, very even across the board. The main differential just being that OD over top of the Zeus.
Oh, whoopsie.
Not what they're hoping for.
You blame the creep there, not the player.
Oh, yeah.
The creep turned. Why? No, Insania tries to go for a little play. Always have to, Stormstormer has to be a little cautious how he does use these next few Astrals, just because it feels like perhaps we could see that charge coming out soon, so definitely wants vision down in his lane, which he does have, so he already has the prep to see if this charge is going to be coming from the bottom lane. Actually even covering towards top, but a little bit of a different ward.
Yeah.
But they're pinging Nisha. He's got Arcane Rune, so I feel like he's probably telling his team, "Yeah, let's try to make this move here." But his
There's
mana,
3 bottom.
look at his mana, just keeps getting taken out.
With another hero down here, Snapfire in the area, they could do something. But I think he might have walked kind of close to vision there. Katomi tries to draw the creeps over to him yet again.
Another Astral Stormstormer. Nisha is very low.
Oh my god.
Oh!
A little off the mark there from Stormstormer.
It's the Heavenly Jump. It's that cast, cast time increase. I think he was trying to just perfectly play it there, but yeah, cast time slow. Nisha will be able to get away in a wasted ult there from Stormstormer.
That is crazy. Yeah, that probably was what it was. He probably cast it at the right time, but, you know, this ability exists in Dota for some reason. You know, and we just have to deal with that. We have to live in this world now.
Yeah, he was trying to do math. He was trying to maximize the amount of damage he gets with his right clicks and then get that ult at the furthest possible distance, but whoopsie.
Well played by Nisha.
Now charge.
Connects onto both. And it's a rune up top, the haste.
Who's going to get it? Looks like Stormstormer should be able to.
Yeah, that one should be a freebie. And he's queuing up this Midas after the treads, thinking about, was heading top, but now running back mid here.
Nisha. But there's this... He does have a haste, though, so he should be fine, but... Very aggressive Astrals coming out from Stormstormer.
Yeah. You would imagine that at some point Liquid might kind of try and come and see if they can punish that a little bit.
Haste is running out, so perhaps can see an option. But yeah, they've covered. They have a ward bottom side. They have a ward top side, so they're always going to see rotations from Boxy if he does look for it, as now looking to secure his Drows farm a little better. Mick is level 7, so he does have pretty crazy damage. It gets canceled.
Pull back. Ion Shell damage. It's going to be enough. Toby comes on in for the finish. Has level 6 now, so Drow, you can see how far back she's playing in the lane. Needs to be really careful if Ricky's off map.
Super quiet, slow-paced game here to start. I feel like most of the games we've had explode even pre-10 minutes. This one off to a very slow start.
As you can see, you know, again, coming into this, the esportsbets.io odds very much into the favor of Liquid, but their lineup is not really one that, I mean, I guess can play around it that well. I mean, in some ways, you feel like there is that potential because the Spear Breaker, because of a Zeus ulti, there should be able to find some kills somewhere, but these heroes just not really set up for it yet.
They just covered, Entities covered their bases. These wards constantly seeing, and then, yeah, Stormstormer always has the banishment, of course, to be able to play as. Stormstormer, he's got the Midas, so greed is good. He doesn't even go for the treads, he just rushes it a little bit faster.
Fair.
Let's see if they see it. I mean, they're going to see it in a moment here, and they're probably going to then look to accelerate things quite a bit here, I'd imagine, on Liquid. As another rune,
God.
It goes top.
The regen feels good for him. Ooh, Astral? Trying to do anything. They're thinking about going on to Watson very low. Has to pop ulti and
Boxy.
Oh, they drop it. Boxy goes down. So an easy kill there and a missed opportunity onto Slark up top. So all things going pretty well for Entity. It's not a huge gold lead though.
No. They're just playing the lane advantage, this OD pick plus that Slark and Undying have done their job here, but now the Brood is doing Brood things. Zai, he's hit 7, so now he can actually push Slark completely out of the lane, and they don't have the best heroes to actually go up there. Usually you have some type of Pango, like let's just, like example, right? Pango, Legion, Tide, something that just parks themselves in the face of that tower. There's not really that option for the side of Entity. They don't want to send Toby up there.
No, not at all. And the other thing is, I mean, first phase Brood overall, you'd anticipate they'd have some more answers. But they are finding a big old stack of creeps in that jungle.
They want to stop this. Entity's like, we do not want to just lose our triple stack to the Spider, but can they actually push him out?
Yeah, it's not easy. They're bringing numbers. Find one now, seeing if they can kill off Insania. And with the burn through, is it going to be enough damage? Yes, indeed. That Ion Shell so strong.
That's going to be the key to them pretty much making any of these early rotations, like you said earlier, right? The Ion Shell plus Ricky, they're the ones that have to set up pretty much for any of these ganks on the side of Entity. Toby, mech is done, but very low mana constantly. He just continues to just spam his Ion Shell onto the wave. So as for fighting with him, fighting around him, it's still going to be a little more difficult. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty farm-heavy game.
Yeah, much more sit back, try and get into their items, and then go for a big one later on there. Boxy clearing through these creeps down bottom. And he's the lone one left behind as Mickey has decided to head on off to the jungle. Probably a good decision.
Yeah, he's low level. They're just trying to give Boxy some type of XP bottom. So let's see if Entity's able to punish this. Katomi.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy one as the vacuum pulls back in and Boxy is going to get burned. Pretty simple kill there for Entity.
Feels like an important game for this Ricky to get these type of kills too, because his shard is going to be one of the key things that lets them actually initiate and start fights, because they just don't really have that form of initiation easily.
Yeah.
So did he actually get the last hit on any of those kills? He got the one on Insania. Okay, so.
Yeah. Well, and Darkseer off to a great start. Already has Guardian Greaves pretty close to being done.
That's going to be nice versus that Gust.
Yeah, pretty huge. But is running into some mana issues here. As Tomi spots Mickey there. Doesn't know if there's sentries in the area or not, so has to play it a little bit more safe.
Looks like they're starting to ping mid-tower. I think Liquid wants to start kicking this pace up here. Insania is 6, so he's got the kisses. Stormstormer has to be cautious how he uses this next Astral. They're already starting to rotate more heroes.
Yeah, they bring numbers. I don't know if he caught sight of Zai, but sees him now. And Boxy runs on in. The Ricky on top of him, trying to burn him down, but the damage is there. Stormstormer falls. Tombstone also already going to be killed off, so Entity, they lose their mid, they lose their 4. Gonna take this tower. They definitely brought everybody.
You could see Stormstormer was hesitant about doing the Astral, right? Because he's like, oh god, if I don't have some type of way, but it actually gets hit by the charge and then I believe bashed immediately afterwards, so Boxy, a little bit more RNG getting into play, but the rotation from Liquid, it's clean.
It feels like, you know, as much as we were talking about how well that laning stage has gone, Liquid were never really that concerned, it seems.
Their lineup, it thrives on teamfight, while Entities still feels difficult for them to do the teamfight until they acquire a lot more items when the Slark starts to feel like he's able to join. And maybe Watson is able to join. He did go for an early Diffusal Blade here, so maybe trying to play around that Ion Shell and get on top of the Drow.
I've been queuing up the Falcon Blade next. Kind of an interesting choice to go back that way.
Okay. Does want some type of extra little bit of mana regen and stats, of course.
No. Little survivability. The rest of the team comes on down bottom.
They know those ults are on cooldown, the Wrath as well as the Kisses, so feel like they can get the tower, and they will.
Watson finishes that one off. Scouting ahead, finds one, but with Nisha in the area,
he's got Arcane.
He has to be real careful.
He has an Arcane rune too. They definitely don't want to fight here.
Yeah, they got to get the hell out of here. And I mean, maybe with Watson like being able to run in with ulti, but even that, it's too scary.
Always too scary versus Zeus. That's why they went for that pick there, right? Doesn't matter if your Shadow Dance can still just blap him right through it. So does have to be careful. As yeah, they're starting to feel it feels like the pressure of Zai. They keep drawing the circle around his area, just being like, we need to somehow take over or at least push this Brute a little bit and slow him down because we're gonna lose our tier 2 at some point soon. He's already taken 700 damage. And Zai starts to scout with one of those pesky little spiders.
Yeah, dude, nobody's home. These spiders, it's almost down to half HP. But Boxy, he's going to be found here with the Ion Shell on the Ricky and the vacuum pullback. It feels kind of desperate, though, to get these kills. And Boxy is low, but they have to get the heck out. And thought about the ulti, but doesn't go for it.
Insania doesn't connect there with the Scatter Blast. Might have been able to get the kill. Okay, using the Tombstone to farm Ancients. I like it.
Okay, nice.
They can't really utilize Tombstone too well, as we saw earlier. Even before Kisses is on, or even before the little Shredder's online, there's just, spiders. So that Tombstone's usually going to get brought down. So using it to finish up the Ags on Stormstormer, that's going to be nice. Then he can be way more liberal with his Astrals.
Yeah, can definitely try and make a few more plays there, helping out his teammates. And Midas back off cooldown. We'll use that one in just a moment here, I'm sure.
3 seconds till camp spawns, yeah. Should be able to. Fishman, he body blocked it.
Dude, Fishman.
He blocked his own OD's camp. Oh.
You're off the team.
He's gonna have to go 20 seconds without using Midas or more. That's brutal.
Just kidding.
Nah, it happens. Stormstormer's sad though. But that's gonna be his Ags done. So unlocking a new potential. Oh my god, there's not a creep here either.
Yo.
Or here.
Yo.
Oh no, Stormstormer's like, dude, where's my Midas creep?
My nightmares, literally.
It's been like 45 seconds or something that it's been up.
He gets it now. Surely.
He wants to use another siege, probably.
Yeah,
stop that push.
God, look at the damage onto that tower, though. Like, this is definitely a problem. Zai has been completely uncontested here.
Yeah, Liquid doesn't seem to be too phased about being forced to make any type of move. Feels like they're sitting back, waiting for Entity to kind of make the aggressive move onto them.
And they don't really have the heroes for that, it feels like. You don't want to open with some type of a, vacuum play. Maybe Ricky can be the one that tries to set the tempo?
When they have the dart, I think that's when Entity can actually look to play a little bit more aggressive. Having no stuns in their draft, they need the Ricky to have that finished up. So probably going to let Katomi farm a little bit.
And Watson runs right into Zai. Doesn't decide to go for him there. It is a little bit weird because it feels like they sort of have two different setup abilities, the Astral and the Sleeping Dart. The main follow-up feels to kind of be like a Slark or something in that way.
Yeah, definitely not the usual that we see, right? Usually it's like Mirana, Ricky. That's riddled across SEA, of course, but just a little bit of a different one coming up from Entity, different style.
2 to 6, slow and steady.
Fishman.
They see him completely here, right on top of this ward.
He has to always be paired. This is a scary situation for Undying. He has to always be near one of his cores or he's just likely to die. As Katomi shows his face.
Charge, finds him. Gust, done. Did manage, I think, there to finish his shard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
So that at least is a nice little pickup before the death.
Yeah, should be able to do a decent amount of work with it. Either stopping charges, perhaps getting on the Drow with the Zeus.
On Slark going for the Ags, too. He's 2 components of it done.
Okay. Way to force a fight from your safe laner.
As treads are completed for the OD, and trying to figure out what it is that they're looking for on Entity to make an aggressive move, or does anybody really even want to?
Looks like this is just going to... I think we're in for a bit of a slow one, where everybody's just... it's 18 minutes, we only have 9 kills. One of them is a deny. But top tower, Zai gets it. He's unlocked a pretty big opening now up top. And they also, of course, get the Grove Bow for the Drow. So Mickey going to be incredibly happy.
Yeah. I think we saw one of those picked up on Dire too, but right now OD opting to go for the People's Gift instead. But he has Ags done, and I will say that, we don't talk that much about OD late game. Is there any value in that, ulti coming out later against the Drow as Watson gets gone on a little bit here?
He's charged, and he probably knows it. It is from base, though, so he will be able to distance himself. The OD, they're going to itemize for BKB, and he also is playing into Gust, which is always going to be a bit complicated, and he's going to be playing into Silk and Bola. So that's one of the things I think people sometimes do forget, how annoying Brute is. He just throws his Bola, and you have a 55% miss chance. So as a hero like OD, that's really, really annoying. You never really can itemize, besides BKB, to deal with that.
Right.
So for him, the game does feel like it could get a little difficult if they don't have a way to protect him easier. Feels like Liquid perhaps now ready to strike. Starting to poise himself a little bit more aggressively. Boxy.
Charge, runs right into him. Stormstormer gets the Astral. Zai moving into position. The silence is there, and Katomi in trouble, going to die again.
And the Tombstone just gets farmed by spiders as well.
Yeah, it happens so quickly there.
And there's a DD. They could potentially look to set up for a situation around Roche. No Tombstone.
Okay.
Liquid's going to go in. He gets the bottle given to him from Nisha as well, too. Now, Entity, how do they approach this? They need to use the Dark Seer at its maximum. They need to have the double Ion Shells going if they even want to try to contest, but I don't think they make it there in time.
The other problem is he only has 3 points right now in Vacuum, and Wall has already been used. So yeah, there's no way they can come in and fight this. This is a free Roche.
Yeah, free Roche for the Drow. And that's going to give a good blanket for Mickey to probably farm and finish up BKB, which is incredible this game versus that OD and versus the Darkseer.
You can see, though, a very close one. Dota Plus, at least, feeling like it could go either way. I mean, we've talked about sort of the late game potential and how strong Liquid's going to be. Is there anything that sort of holds you back at all with it? Or, I mean, I guess we might have to hold that because I think it looks like the tier 2 might start to get attacked here. Tomi moves in with the Ion Shell. And the Vacuum paired together with it kills off all those spiders.
Okay, Lens on Stormstormer. Alright. I'm looking to just play super far back in the fights. Does mean, he's just not going to go for BKB until for a very long time from now.
Yeah.
Does make it a lot harder for them to actually ever take a 5v5 engagement or anything like that. Perhaps that's just not what they're looking for at all this game. Just looking to try to split map and just get that farm so they can scale into like super late game or something like that. But
right.
I think Liquid's perfectly fine going into those later stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean, particularly Boxy here, like, he's getting towards a BKB. If you get a super farm Spirit Breaker late game, that's terrifying.
Versus Slark and OD, absolutely. Like, he can just charge right through them. Sure, you're going to be able to Astral him, but he's got Bulldoze on, so he'll be able to just commit onto the next. There's another Arcane Rune. Nisha, they get the dart.
Dart. Coming from behind as Watson finds him right on top. They're starting to beat him down to death. Is it going to be enough damage? Nisha just drops. Getting him down, and now Boxy trying to get away. They have the kisses from the other side. Wait for that perfect timing, but the vacuum the wall pulls back onto 2, but their Slark is already gone.
Stormstormer just can't approach the fight. He has to just play very careful.
Has have a save ready for him. They have the pipe completed now, trying to do the damage that they need to from Mickey. Saves him for the moment, but I think that in the end, it's just going to be the dead fish man.
Ooh. They do get Nisha, but it's quite a commitment, losing 3 heroes.
I don't consider myself the best player.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rough one there for Entity.
And this was actually before the 4-step, I believe, was done, if I saw correctly on Insania. Or Insania got himself also in a weird spot. He got stuck on the cliff there. But if they had 4-step, I think perhaps they can even save Nisha there, because he tried to cookie, but he was under the cloud. Then he got astraled on Insania, so he couldn't actually cookie to save him. But if he had 4-step, doesn't matter if you're clouded, he could have potentially gone for that save.
Sleep there onto the Brood, but the Spiders staying back to defend in case things get a little bit dicey.
Stormer gets a grab. Mickey also grabbed.
Right on top. Do they have enough? Actually turn their sights instead over to the side. Finding Mickey, pulls him back in with the vacuum. The Ion Shell damage, the cookie forward, right on top of the Darkseer. Silence, but the rundown, it's going to be enough to kill him once. Toby tries to run away. The other side of the fight's getting a little bit spicy as Zai is on top of Fishman, and he's going to go down. So they burn through the Aegis, and it doesn't cost him a ton.
No. So I'm surprised that the Darkseer ends up living a little bit of a missed cookie there from the Snapfire, putting him into range of that Ion Shell. As Boxy wanted more but can't find it. A Lotus Orb for Zai. So now they already have that counter versus that Sleeping Dart. They're going to be able to dispel it at all times.
Yeah. That's really nice for them. It takes away one more avenue of this initiation.
Stormstormer is so low right now. He's getting scouted by Spiders. This is a scary position to be in.
The charge is there.
With the Lotus.
The Lotus going to save himself. Watson up on the high ground. Spots a couple. Stormstormer in trouble. Has to save himself again. Toby is right nearby. Does have pipe in 5 seconds, but Stormstormer backs away very low, trying to take up the damage. Is the rest of the team. Katomi hiding off and has a really good cloud down. Vacuum back, Nisha low but not dead.
Regen, he's going to full back up. I can't believe everybody on Entity lives. They dropped so low.
What the hell?
1 or 2 more connections from the Drow, and they actually might detonate, because he did go for, we didn't talk about it, but he got the hypothermia way earlier. He bought that shard right after having Hurricane Pike. Very close to one of those heroes exploding. Fight's looking really hard for Entity.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is just, the best vacuum target that you have is, into a Ricky Cloud. It's really tough to make things work when you can't keep people stuck in one spot.
The lack of stuns, it's starting to be kind of glaring there. They can catch onto those two squishier backlines on Liquid. Perhaps it can be good, but Liquid's not giving them the chance.
Right. Well, and Watson, he has gone for this Aghanim Scepter build, so much more about poking and prodding, it feels like. But next going in for that BKB. Still Entity needing to come up with a few answers here into how they take these team fights.
They have the Blink now also on Stormstormer, so easier way to jump in with his Slark.
Wrapping around right now. Stormstormer.
Very aggressive.
Gets the imprisonment on Anisha. As the charge is heading through, Boxy.
The Nimbus.
Connects now, but a save. He's still going to get hit when he comes out of this. Katomi looks like he's going to be fine now. And they'll farm up the Nimbus.
BKB now finished on Drow, so much easier way to be able to fight toe-to-toe versus OD. He's also 18 on Drow now, so level 3 marksmanship is online.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Stormstormer only 16, Watson only 15. Secondary smoke, they really want to try to fight and take advantage of some of these things being on cooldown. But there's no tombstone available.
The back wall is ready to go. They find one right at the start. Toby looking for his opening. Has Watson nearby. Zai is there.
Big charge.
They have it catch. The vacuum wall, it's only onto the Brood, though. Not nearly good enough. Fishman, he's going to go down, and the rest of Entity have to back out.
Awkward. They try to force the. They don't have Tombstone or anything. They're really trying to force this engagement, but Liquid just claim high ground. And they want to take the fight afterwards. Liquid very prepared.
They have to back away now on Entity, and you can see that this Liquid team just feeling so much more capable of, taking this fights with less.
They have a smoke coming out here. The scan was successful, catching onto the OD.
Boxy heading through this area. And will they spot the rest of them? I mean, there are still a lot of Entity members nearby.
Uh-oh. So the scout.
They find one. It's on to Slark. Watson looks fine for the moment. Stormer in some trouble. Heads out of the Nimbus. Kisses coming through with Boxy right on top of him. Toby moving into position to save. They turn now. Vacuum wall. No, he doesn't have the wall. It's just a vacuum. Toby doesn't have anything. Boxy is going to be able to live through that one. Nisha, they're right on top of this Slark. And Watson has to jump out. Katomi doing a good job of interrupting these fights of the Cloud. It's, again, only going to be that Undying going down.
Again, Entity somehow getting away from this engagement that Liquid's trying to commit onto them. Stormstormer's Astral is really nicely done to be able to distance it. But Watson sticking around a bit long. Don't think Liquid's going to be able to find him. He sees them.
These fights have been super bizarre. I keep on coming away feeling like Liquid is about to completely wipe Entity, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it feels almost a bit like super fortunate really for Entity the way that Stormstormer can play in the tree lines there. If he dies at the start there, they probably just get 3-4-0 wiped, something like that. So good positioning from Stormstormer without having this BKB or anything. I mean, he's still not going for it either. He just has Blink, Ags, Lens, and he's queued up the Hex even, so...
And he's keeping up with Drow very well.
Watson.
Okay. Zanya's on top of him. Toby nearby. And with the rest of the team showing up, is it going to be enough? Yeah. With the Greaves, he gets out of there. But a good silence. And yeah, this is Toby now in some trouble. Doesn't have anywhere left to go. They take down the Ricky. Fishman's going to die too. And that is the fight Liquid have been waiting for.
30 seconds for the Roche as well. If they're still set up in the area, they're going to probably set those wards up, and it's going to be continue to be really difficult for Entity to really pose any type of chance to fight in this area. Pre-BKBs, it just really feels like they can't go into this Drow.
Yeah, they need everything up and online right there, as we can see the replay of this one. Just Watson out a bit too far and gets punished, and Entity can't get Watson out without making themselves hurt too.
And you can't ask for a better Gust. It's right after Greaves was used, right? So Gusted, they're all kind of stuck in place, and then they get the follow-up kills. Not scouting the Roche yet, though. Don't have a Spider in there. Sorry.
And everybody from Entity back alive now. But they don't have vision on that side of the map, really, except for on Radiant High Ground.
I guess they just still haven't scouted it, because they could potentially just still walk into this pit.
Yeah. Sania sees it now.
And they get a haste rune. Really fortunate rune for Nisha, playing versus what's like literally 0 stuns.
Right.
He's going to be able to distance himself immediately. Mickey also hitting level 20 now, so the multi-shot damage even higher. And yeah, that's an Aegis, that's a Shard.
I will say that Nisha's definitely been shut down a lot more this game than we've seen in the past. And it's been up to the other members of Liquid to try and sort of right the ship here a little bit, which they've been able to do quite well.
Yeah, I think they're feeling really good. 10k gold lead, they've gotten both Roshans. Still not feeling when Stormstormer can actually, like he's keeping up in farm, right? And he does have these great saves that he's been able to do, but when's he going to be able to actually go into a fight and make this big explosive hit? It feels pretty hard for him.
Yeah, oh my god, I've never seen that. What the hell?
Yeah, it's so ugly. Have you seen the bug that happens with it sometimes too?
I haven't.
It continues to roll and you actually become this ball of dirt and it takes up your whole screen. I've seen it like 2 or 3 games.
So you just get bigger and bigger?
Yeah, it literally takes up the entire screen.
That's
sometimes.
awesome.
I don't know what causes the bug. I tried to figure it out yesterday actually, but I couldn't. As Liquid, with this next Roche, with that Roche, they also picked up a gem. Boxy has BKB, so yeah, Boxy can just kind of charge in and pick any target that he wants to go for to start these fights, as we've seen time and time again. Now it's just even easier.
We'll head on over here and push out the wave, it looks like, looking for anybody to find. And nobody's here.
Entity starting to get stuck in the base. The Spider scouting, Boxy scouting.
So a smoke up from them, and they're going to try and head out now and reclaim a little bit of the map, it looks like.
Watson has his BKB, so can actually jump in and start these fights for his team a little more.
Is this finally enough for them? Katomi heads on over.
It's about to be a Hex for Zai finished as well, too. This could catch them off guard.
Watson, as smoke breaks, he finds one. There's the stun. Backs away. Push back in. Oh, in the vacuum wall. On to 3. Is it going to be good enough, though? They really don't have a follow-up at all. Nisha getting gone on by Toby, but from the low ground, Mickey keeps hitting him. A save for the moment, keeping that Darkseer alive with the charge coming through. He's still in the astral plane.
They don't lose anybody.
It again works out for them okay, but like eventually the initiation where you catch 3 heroes with your big combo, like that needs to do something.
They just don't have, there's no follow-up, right? There's literally there's no way to stun them, control, they just waltz out right after that vacuum comes off. Liquid, all healthy to still fight, and quite a lot committed from the side of Entity. I mean, that's the BKB for Watson. Now that Hex is finished for Brood, so an extra element that could just, if he finds Stormstormer, Stormstormer's just gonna die in one Hex combo.
Wow. They back away there as the Sleeping Dart is out, and
Foxy,
try and control onto him, not gonna do anything. But yeah, these fights looking very weird when there's no stuns in the game. They have Blink now done for the Darkseer, so he can find these big combos. But they need, I guess, to get this Aghanim Scepter online for him to actually sort of have some type of maybe solo killing potential or what have you with the normal punch.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it. Still stalling for this beat. I mean, Stormstormer still. I'm waiting to see which one he actually commits for, because it does feel like he needs his BKB to just be able to be there for the Darkseer. But Liquid, looking for the next catch. Watson.
Find him for a moment. They try and take down the Nimbus, and will do just that. But the Tombstone immediately dies.
They get the Astral. It actually gets reflected. The Lotus.
Needs to be careful about this. Stormstormer, the Hex, they're right on top of him. The Force Staff trying to keep him alive, but look at the damage coming out from Drow.
They call it.
They're done. My goodness. All it took was one.
Now I'm a little bit more confident with how I was feeling, I guess, at the start of the game, because looking at their draft, they had these strong lanes, but I was saying, something doesn't